Hello everyone, welcome to So Jannelle. I'm your host Jannelle. So greeting all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day. To all the moms who are also fathers to their children, happy Father's Day to you as well. I know the celebration this year is going to be different from the previous years because we are still in the middle of a pandemic. Make no mistake about it, we're opening up for the economy, not because it's safe. And that's why we have an update for you on that today on the show as well. Making this possible is Toyota. They champion our community, they champion our nurses, our frontliners, and they make it easy for us to get information and helpful tools to survive and possibly to thrive during this pandemic. So we're going to be giving you that later on in the show. For now, we're celebrating Father's Day, and here is a candid interview with the Philippines Concert King, Mr. Nievera. I've interviewed him so many times in my other show as well, talking about different things, his career, his singing, his concerts, even some of a little bit of his love life. But today we get to talk to him about fatherhood. Martin Nievera, old friend, happy Father's Day.
Thank you so much, Jannelle. How are you?
We're good here, hunkered down, but I know you guys are over there in the Philippines as well. So thank you so much for joining us and thank you for making time.
It's my pleasure. I missed you. I've been missing you when I was in LA. I was supposed to do something with you, then you couldn't do it, and your replacement was Ted Benito.
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
Yes. Oh, so you were on right after I left, because that was the...
I was on after you left, yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That was, yeah, long story. We should get together and catch up. Martz, yeah, I've interviewed you so many times about shows, and I know that there was some juicy stuff as well about relationships. But I want to talk to you now about fatherhood. You have 3 sons, and you just came out last year about Santino's condition.
It's a condition that we can't ignore, and I haven't been trying to ignore it, but no one's ever asked.
I saw that. So for the benefit of those who weren't able to catch that news, you actually talked about Santino's autism?
Yes.
And how...
He's on the spectrum. When he was about 3 years old, we realized that we saw some challenges, that he was nonverbal, antisocial, his focus wasn't good. They said that he's ADD, he's Asperger's syndrome, but he's on the spectrum. If there's numbers 1 to 30, he's not even at the 12 yet. All of them have magic, and I think it's numbers. He's very good with numbers, and he's a very good drummer.
I read about that, and you must be so proud. Martz, I also read about some article talking about how he has really enriched your life and he has made you a better father. And I want to talk about that today, obviously, for Father's Day. Can you share with us those thoughts?
There's been so many humbling experiences in my life. This has to be number 1, because I have 2 boys already, Robin and Ram. I have 2 pegs. I kind of know how I'm going to raise the 3rd son, and not knowing that I'd have these challenges. So now I'm a lot more grateful. I try to be present as often as I can, and it's hard because he lives in Las Vegas and I live here. I try to give him more quantity time if I can't give him quality time. And I've learned now that not just to sweat the small stuff anymore, because the challenges that Santino goes through on a daily basis, even just to tie his shoes when he was younger, even just to be able to converse, even just to be able to reason. And right now, as we speak, to understand why I can't go on an airplane and fly to Las Vegas. He just cannot grasp it. So he's having tantrums, and he's having a lot of emotional outbursts that I'm never present for. So I'm trying to see now, and this is my new challenge, on how to make him understand about the COVID-19 virus and how it's keeping us all away from each other.
There's a lot of fathers in your situation, fathers who can't be with their children, fathers who are having a hard time explaining why they can't, especially with the COVID situation. What would be your advice to those fathers?
Well, again, unless if their kids are also on the spectrum, they will be able to relate with me because you'd think that the social media is the best way to go until you have a child on the spectrum. Yeah, because my son, the moment he sees me, no matter what I explain, he goes crazy because he wants to see me now. I can see you here, but you can't get on a plane. So my advice is for those whose kids are not on the spectrum to at least do this daily. Don't make promises you can't keep. Don't sugarcoat anything. And when it comes to this virus, just consider it the boogeyman, that we don't see it, but it's there and you better not go there. Right? Don't scare them. Don't use fear. I think nowadays kids are so smart, they can go online. They themselves can do their own self research, and that might be damaging. So it's important that we as parents and as fathers to be as honest, to be as open-minded as possible, because kids are going to grow up really quicker now than they did during my time because of all the challenges being thrown our way, from a virus to demonstrations to all these questions that we have. So you just have to be present. And I don't mean physically present. If you can be present with this little box here, then that's the way you should go. Don't forget to keep in contact with your kids.
You're a public figure. You're an esteemed, well-regarded artist from the Philippines who travels all over the world. So a lot of people know you, and a lot of people know of your kids as well. How difficult is it being a father and a public figure at the same time? Because I know that the lines sometimes intersect.
They really do. There was a time that my children, Robin and Ram, didn't understand fans. And people screaming if we're in the mall. Why? It's just my dad. What's the big deal? They grew up having to understand why people made such a big deal about their public figure parents. In my case, as we got older, I'd like to think, I might be wrong, but I'd like to think I'm a cool dad. And my coolness somehow has made them understand that no, it's no big deal, because they too, and they can get mayabang, they can get big heads when they see, their parents being fussed over. I'd laugh at it. I'd make us all laugh at it. We make light of it, because I don't want my kids to grow up feeling so entitled. I don't want them to feel that they are superstars. As long as I was never a superstar father, I tried to always be their friend and really, really cool about things, no matter what. So now, as growing up also as far as fame is concerned, they've also seen me go down. They've seen and read and hear people say bad things about me, not all good. As a public figure, as you know, you have to take the bad and the good. So again, it really, really helps to have a sense of humor and that closeness with your kids, like as if you were just a friend.
But you were also raised by a popular dad, and you grew up almost in the public eye as well. So how much of that shaped the father that you are right now?
Oh, a lot of it, because I saw my father go through a lot of that as well. And sometimes even the weirdest things where he'd be performing and then I'd say, hey, dad, dad, dad. And shh, don't call me dad. Hey, may mga chicks, may mga girls there in the audience. Jannelle, there was a time that my dad would be performing on stage. This is no joke. And when the keys to the hotel rooms were actual keys with big keychains, the girls would throw the keychains on stage.
Oh, wow.
My father and his bandmates, they were good looking, and he was like part of a boy band in Hawaii. So I saw that, and I didn't resent it, but it taught me an important lesson that we really cannot lie to our kids. I mean, back in the day, my dad had an image with the group. And I said, if I ever become a singer, if I ever have children, I hope I never have to say to my son, don't call me dad. Call me Martin. That stuck with me. I mean, that was like a big blow on me. So now that has stayed with me. Now when I'm with my kids, it's my kids first. If I'm in a public eye and I'm in a public place, in a dinner or a restaurant or whatever, and people start coming toward us, I just make it light of it, like it's a game. But growing up with my dad as a public figure really helped me become the father that I am, by trying to do what he didn't do or not do what he did.
What about advice? Advice from him that you keep with you as a father, from a father to a father?
Dad was the kind of father who never said he was a father. There was like Star Wars, but he would use the Force. I mean, we would know what each other meant by just one look. I know that he means stop it, He was a very strict father, but he was a very cool one as well. And the advice he used to give me as far as fatherhood goes is never expect your kids to go out of their way for you. You need to go out of your way for your kids.
We're going to be continuing that conversation later on in the program, so please stick around for that. For now, we'll be back after these few messages. Thank you for sharing your time with us here on So Jannelle. If you missed any of our previous episodes or segments for today, make sure that you catch us online, www.youtube.com/SoJannelle. Also, catch our YouTube premiere. You know, on TV, what we give you is just a sliver of some of our interviews. Some of our interviews actually run long, and we post all those up on our YouTube channel. That's www.youtube.com/SoJannelle, where we also have our YouTube premieres on Wednesday night. So Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Pacific, that's 11 p.m. Eastern and 11 a.m. in the Philippines. They're in Asia, Middle East, a lot of Filipinos there, in Europe. They can all catch us digitally now on YouTube. Meanwhile, back here on the show, we are giving you some updates on what's going on. We are still in the middle of a pandemic. In fact, in some cases, there are still some spikes in the number of patients testing positive for coronavirus. Dr. Francisco C., welcome once again, and thank you for making time for us here on So Jannelle.
Thank you for having me.
So, Doc, in terms of the economy opening up, we know here, especially in Southern California, we've opened the beaches, the hiking trails, and it's so alarming because, like my husband said, he went out last Sunday and he observed that on the beaches, on the piers, there are young people going out, having fun without masks on, without practicing social distancing. So it's as if there's no virus anymore.
Americans also have the misconception that, oh, the weather's hot, the virus will die. No, that's not true. If we look at other developing countries, with the Philippines or other parts of the world where it's hot, you can see that they also have the epidemic because regardless of the weather, the virus is still being spread from person to person. And what's the impact of the public health measure like the lockdown that we have? So this is a study done by UC Berkeley researcher, and they looked at 6 countries: China, South Korea, Italy, Iran, France, and the US. And they found that this lockdown and the public health measures instituted in the past few months work.
So, Doc, what we're doing now is we're opening the economy slowly. Here in California, I keep referring to that because that's what we know, that's where we're at, in phases. But it doesn't mean that it's already safe.
The impact of the reopening of the economy, you can see that epidemic curve for New York. You can see that it actually went up and went down, right? And they're very careful in opening up their economy. I think they just opened up last week. But if you look at California, I think they opened up too quickly, and then people stopped wearing masks and observing physical distancing. You can see that the cases went up.
This is what I'm concerned about as a mom to young children. Recently, so we've heard over and over that it doesn't really affect young children, but they can be carriers. But recently, we've been hearing about the multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, or MIS-C, associated with COVID-19. Can you talk to us about that?
So the multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, or MIS-C, it's a very rare condition. It's similar to what they call toxic shock syndrome or Kawasaki disease, where there's inflammation of the blood vessels. So when the blood vessels inflame, the blood flow is limited, so it could damage the heart and the other type of organs. But the good news about it is that it's very rare. Only a few hundred cases have been reported. And these are symptoms of MIS-C symptoms: fever, abdominal pain, vomiting, diarrhea, neck pain, rash, bloodshot eyes, and tired. But if you see the difficulty in breathing, pain in the chest, confusion, it's hard to wake up or stay awake, bluish lips, severe abdominal pain, those are emergency signs. They should be brought to the ER right away.
It's very rare, but we don't know how kids develop it, correct?
Yes.
So it's still important to be very, very careful. I want to ask about the testing. It's not foolproof, basically, because there are some false positives, false negatives in those testing. But I also hear of others who are now going back to work that are getting tested every week. Do you suggest that? And if they were to get tested every week, what is the best testing that they can take?
PCR is the most sensitive test, which actually look for the viral particle, the RNA particle. So that's the most sensitive test. But for quick results, you can do the regular antigen test, but they have more false negative results. So personally, if you're not think you're exposed, I don't think you should get tested.
I also talked to other medical professionals who are saying that the number of COVID cases that they're admitting in the hospitals are going down, but that doesn't mean that it won't go up again, correct, Doc?
Yeah, the case could go up again with all this protest demonstration where people are in big groups and they're shouting and chanting. All the virus could be easily be spread. So, and we don't know the future for COVID-19. It might be similar to MERS, where it become more seasonal. So I think we need to still be responsible and just continue observing distance and wearing, very simple, just wear a mask, a cloth mask that's washable, reusable, and also observe physical distancing. It will work. We're all in this together. Each one teach one. When you learn something new, share with your family and friends, and then promote bayanihan, helping each other, and keeping our faith strong. And remember, just like other epidemic, this too eventually will pass.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. Always very informative and very enlightening. Be safe out there, Doc, as well. Thank you, Dr. C, for always giving us updates. It is very important during this time that we know what's going on. And not only that, we understand what's going on. We understand the curves, we understand the terms, and we understand what we need to do as well in order to protect ourselves, protect our families, and protect our communities. Also, thank you to Toyota. That's why we're grateful to Toyota for making this event possible, or for making this segment possible, because they are championing our community, making sure that we have the right tools with us in order to beat this pandemic, and for right now, to survive and to thrive during this pandemic. Also, there are, for those of you that are looking for a new car, maybe as the economy opens up, for those of you looking for a car that you can rely on, Toyota, of course, is there for you. And for this month, they are offering incredibly low finance rates for all their hybrid models. So that's Prius, RAV4 Hybrid, and Camry Hybrid. So make sure you check them out. Call your local Toyota dealer today. Once again, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Martin Nievera, Philippine Concert King, happy Father's Day. And thank you for being so candid. He actually has been talking about being a father, and this is going to be the second part of our interview with him, with a special song for his sons and for all the fathers out there. Enjoy this one. But of course, I will not let this day pass without greeting my own husband, the father of my children. Happy Father's Day. Lester, thank you so much for working so hard for the family and for taking care of all of us. So I hope you enjoy your special day. And everyone else, thank you for joining us today. Make sure you catch us online on YouTube. Our premieres on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, and 11 a.m. Thursday morning in the Philippines. So please tell your friends and family about us being available online. We are also on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. So please catch us there. And of course, on TV next week, same time, same channel. I'm your host, Jannelle So, and this has been So Jannelle, now giving you the second part of my interview with Philippine Concert King, Martin Nievera. What makes you proud as a dad? You want to talk a little bit about what Rob is doing, what Ram is doing?
Well, Robin is getting into music, and he's following the footsteps of his parents, but taking it to the next level because he's a musician. Pops and I are not musicians. No way. I can't even work my laptop. But he's a gifted songwriter. I didn't know he had such deep, the concepts of his songs are that of a much older person. and I admire him. The one thing I admire most about Robin is that he does not want to follow the footsteps or hang on the coattails of his parents. He wants to make it on his own, and I respect that. Ram is an animator. To this day, he gets work from people, even from companies that work for Pixar and Disney. They send him work to fix things, even just from his house, from his bedroom. I'm so proud that all those days when we would say, can you stop drawing on the napkins? Can you please clean up what you drew on the wall, when he was a kid? And now it pays off because yung pala, he's a great animator, and I think he's going to go very, very far. That is my hope. That is my prayer. And of course, Santino, the 13-year-old giant, he is such a joy. He's a joy also. His brothers love him. Even Pops loves him. My girlfriend loves him. He loves her. He's the magic in the family. Of the boys, of the Nievera boys, he is the magic. He is the super glue. He's the one who keeps us together and keeps us grounded. We will never, ever think that we're having a bad day until we spend a bad day with Santino.
I love it, Martin. I've interviewed you on so many topics. I said that earlier, and I've seen you talk about different things. I've never seen you light up like this as when you're talking about your sons. It seems that fatherhood is something that you really take seriously, although up until recently you've been very private about it.
Yeah, that's true. Also, the mother, Katrina, the mother of Santino, she also asked me, please, whatever you do, when we found out that Santino was on the spectrum, whatever you do, please don't let him get involved in our world, Jannelle. She was always fearing the fact that our world would over-amplify, over-exaggerate, maybe even tease. But I think because there were so many special children in the world today, as opposed to back in the day, that I think it's more understood. I think people have an easier way of grasping and understanding when they see a child having a little bit of a moment, have a little bit of a challenge. And that's why I've taken it to the next level. It took me maybe, he's already 13, maybe only in the last 3 or 4 years that I'm able to openly talk about it. Well, because it never came up. And Santino's not here. But I can guarantee you, if he lived with me rather than with his mother, we would have known about this a long, long time ago. And I hope and pray, there is no cure, you know that. There is no cure. But I hope and pray that I live long enough to see him and Robin and Ram, all 3 of my sons, realize their dreams.
That's so touching. As my last question, Martin, so what's Father's Day going to look like for you this year?
Father's Day is going to look just like this, Jannelle. Me in a little box, the 3 sons in 3 little boxes, and we're just going to end up talking over each other and not really hearing anything. Unfortunately, that's the way it's got to be. And we've had birthday parties online. We've had weddings. We have dates online. This is the new normal. So I guess I'm going to be celebrating Father's Day in the new normal in a little box.
So your message for your sons?
For Robin, whatever you're doing in Hollywood, please just know that you can always come home. I don't care if you come home a success or a failure or a little bit of both. I'm here for you, and I hope and pray that all your dreams come true. For Ram, I hope that the animators of the world notice the work that you do, and that maybe you can have your name in the closing credits of a Disney or Pixar movie, animated film. That is my dream and prayer for you. And for Santino, may every challenge, may every obstacle that you come across, every puzzle that you have, and those missing pieces. My prayer has always been for my son. I always ask God, please, Lord, let me find that missing piece of that puzzle that will complete my son, Santino. And that will be the happiest day in my life as a father.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us on fatherhood, Martin. One last thing, we're going to see you, luminaries, right? You're one of the Filipino-American luminaries.
Oh, yes.
Talk to
Little
us.
did I know I was.
Of course you are. The light in these dark
Times, right? The luminaries. Are you going to be performing or giving a message? Both?
I think I gave a little bit of a message and performing. The sad thing was, I don't know if you know this, Jannelle, we're talking about TOFA, right?
Yes, yes.
My first experience with TOFA was not too long ago. I was so excited to be there, and I wrote my speech and everything, only to find out I wasn't there to receive any award. I was there just to sing. I was just hired help.
Oh
It
no.
was so sad. It was embarrassing. I came on for the group picture. I said, everyone's holding a trophy but me. So I said, oops.
Are you serious? We should talk to Elton about that.
He knows. We were cracking up for 2 days after that. We stayed in New York and we were cracking up. I said, wait. I didn't win anything. I came all the way from the Philippines and I'm just singing.
So this year, so did you ever have you gotten your award yet?
No.
Not yet. Oh, this should be it. This should be the year, 10th year of TOFA.
How embarrassed yeah, Jannelle. I really swear to God, Boy Abunda was the host.
Yes.
And he's my friend. I said, boy, I think they forgot my trophy. Martin, ano ka ba? Kakanta ka lang.
Talo pa kita. I beat you to it. I have my award. And anyway, to close us out, Marts, can you sing a little bit for us?
Sure. I even have music. Are you ready?
Yes.
It's a song I wrote for my boys. For fatherhood. For Father's Day. When you wake up each morning and you feel like calling, I'll be there for you. And when the rules we keep breaking and the future is fading, Daddy's there for you. When there's no one beside you, I'll be there to guide you, catch you each time you fall. When the stars won't shine anymore, I'll be there. And who knows where we'll go? What will tomorrow bring? But we have each other. Just hold on tight. We can take to the skies and fly.